Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the Let's Get Wealthy 6-week program. So today we're going to dive into some different stuff than we did last week. But first, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just recap everything that we covered last week. So first, we talked last week about what exactly do we mean by wealthy. And so getting wealthy is about achieving wellness in 5 categories that cover all aspects of life. So we're talking about mind, body, spirit, relationships, and finances. And then as you can see on the slide, there are several subcategories within each of those. So this is really what holistic wellness is really all about, right? It's about finding the time and making the time for yourself to implement things that are going to improve your overall well-being in all of the aspects of your life, knowing that not any one thing is, the end all, right? That these things all work together for your good. So that's what we mean when we talk about holistic wellness, and that's what I mean when I talk about getting wealthy. And we're going to go through the program outline real quick. So, of course, last week we talked about clarity and getting clear on what it is that you really want to achieve in your life. This week we're going to be talking about envisioning, and we're going to go beyond affirmations with the alchemy of words and vision. And so when I talk about the alchemy of words and vision, I really feel like we're creating magic when we do this process, and we're turning something from one thing into something else, right? And so that's what I mean by alchemy. So it's pretty powerful stuff. Next week, we're going to be talking about taking inspired action that's based on your own energy, your own unique way of showing up in the world. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some human design stuff next week. And then in the 4th week, we're going to get onto a solid foundation of understanding some things about financial literacy. There were some things that I've learned recently about financial literacy that I think a lot of women in particular don't know. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff, and then just really kind of get into some more solid and practical aspects of this whole thing of manifesting and creating what we prefer. And then in week 5, we're going to go to the secret sauce. And this is the one thing that everybody that I've studied, all of the masters, all of the people that are out here that are successfully doing the things that they want to do in the world, this is the one thing that they all do. This is the one thing that I've been doing for the last, I don't know, however many years. And I noticed that as I do this, I've just made leaps and bounds in my own progress toward the things that I want to be creating. So that's what we're going to do in week 5. And then in week 6, we're going to wrap everything up and talk about where we're going to go from here. All right. So what we're doing here together, because our time is short, I am not going to go into a lot of detail about the background on where these concepts come from. So I am going to give you resources on my website every week that you can dive into things a little bit deeper on your own. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. But what I do ask of you is that you mindfully be receptive, or you focus on the goals that you're here to achieve. And that way we will be somewhere at the end, okay? All right. So email notification gone. All right. And just so you know, all of the masters that I studied basically said the same thing. So what we're in the process of doing here is talking about manifesting, and manifesting a life of preferred experiences that starts in the mind. Emotions, beliefs, feelings, these are all intrinsically tied to this creative process, whether it is in your finances, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your relationships, it's all tied together. And the first step is knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. Next is learning how to envision and feel what you want before you have it. And then the last is acting on inspiration. And so these things are so simple, sometimes too simple, and yet it works. And when you just really have to put it into practice consistently. So that's what we're going to be doing here together, basically creating a mastermind. When we all show up in the same space with the same intentions and the same type of thoughts and feelings, we create what's called a mastermind, and that's what we're doing here, is helping each other to really absorb this information and get to the place where we can all begin having results with the things that we really want. And there's a twist. So after we get the basics down, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to dive into your unique cosmic energy and how that works for you. And then we're going to learn what every successful person that I've studied, how they got where they got. And then we are going to do that as well. Okay? So I also want to be fully transparent, just like last week, and to let you know that a lot of this is not going to be new information for you, especially if you've worked with me in the past. So it's not about teaching you brand new concepts. That's one huge, huge thing that I feel from Spirit. It's time for us to stop looking for new information and start implementing and acting on the things that we already know. And daily implementation is what we're here to do, okay? So you have the support of myself. Obviously, I'm 100% behind you, wanting to support you and help you. And also my vision is to create a community where we have like-minded people that we can, reach out to and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. It makes such a huge difference when you have somebody that you don't have to explain yourself to, because they already kind of understand where you're coming from with the concepts that you think about every day. And then you can, kind of start having those conversations with people from an even playing ground, and feel heard and feel understood. And that's really important as this important part of this process as well. Okay, so I'm here to help you stay focused on your goals, and we're going to learn some things that we can keep using into 2019, and hopefully 2019 will be an amazing year for everybody. Okay, so right now we're going to dive into envisioning. Okay, so let me just make sure that, yep, we're still good. Okay. So this week, we're going to take our dreams and resistance to these dreams and practice envisioning these. So we will amplify the power of our words with emotion and create what I like to call alchemy of words. This is power affirmations. Today, you will need your journal and the exercise that you did last week. So you should have explored your dreams and your desired experiences and noticed any limiting thoughts that you have about achieving these. You may have taken a stab at creating a power affirmation around these limiting thoughts as well last week. So right now, we are going to get into a space of mindful presence and learn more about how to manifest the dream using the alchemy of words, okay? So right now, just go ahead and relax wherever you are. Go ahead and take some deep breaths and just really bring your attention and your awareness into the present moment. Right now is the perfect time to learn something new, to apply the things that you already know, and to make different choices to achieve the things that you really, really, really want to experience. So from this present moment, with relaxed alertness, we're going to move forward into this process. And when we feel this relaxed alertness, we know that we are receptive, or that we can actually focus in on the things that are really of utmost importance that we're really trying to achieve right now. Okay, so just take another breath in that space and open your eyes. And now we're going to go into this process. But first, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of explanation as to what it is that we're doing. Okay, so this is a three-part process. First, we create an intention for having the dream. Then we create a power affirmation. And last, we envision. Okay, so first, what we're gonna do first is take one of your dreams that you wrote down last week. And for the sake of learning this process, pick one that you're confident that you can achieve. Okay, so pick something that doesn't feel like it's way outside of the realm of possibility for you right now. If you wrote down some really big dreams, go ahead and pick ones that are a little bit closer to you, or pick one that's a little closer. That's something that you feel confident that, you know what, if I do the right things, I know that I can make this happen. And now, go ahead and you're going to get your journal and you're going to write out your intention for this goal. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example before you do it. So just listen right now. So you're going to write out your intention for this goal, and your intention is both a what and a why. The third step is if you notice resistance or an anti-intention, you're going to write that down too. And it's important to pay attention to these limiting thoughts so that we can begin to replace them. Okay. Number 4, we're going to create a power affirmation. And then 5th, we're going to envision the affirmation in full color detail. Okay. All right. So this was for the last little bit that I said. So first, we're going to really get into the dream. Next, we're going to create some magic, some alchemy. And then last, we're going to be envisioning. Okay? So the power secret that we talked about last week, the alchemy of words, creating the affirmation, is what we're going to practice doing pretty much for the rest of our time together. And so an affirmation is a short mantra that encompasses the intent and energy and feeling of the longer statement of your intentions. Okay, so you can write out an intention that's a page long or 2 pages long, or a chapter in your life, right? You want to create the affirmation around that in something that's very short and concise and to the point, so that you can remember it and so that you can repeat it. Okay? So you're going to repeat the affirmation to yourself, and it will become your daily practice for this next week. Okay, so just this next week we're going to be practicing this. And then, of course, after the 6 weeks, when we get the results that we're wanting, we're going to learn how to continue doing this type of a practice. So you might notice that as you dive into this process, the intentions and the affirmations change as your awareness of your truth is revealed by the shedding of layers of low-frequency vibrations, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So just be aware that this is an iterative process and things will change over time. Okay. So right now, I'm going to give you a quick example of how we're going to do this. So I'm going to use one of my dreams as this example, okay? So in the forum, I actually posted all of my well work from last week. So if you didn't post yours there, or if you didn't see mine, you can go into the forum after we're done here today, and you can look at that, and you'll see all of the questions that I answered about my intentions for my big goals and my big dreams, okay? So this is one. So the question was, what would I be if there was nothing I could not be? And I would be a philanthropist, entrepreneur, and help others create wealth that can be used for the betterment of mankind. So what my intention is to become a philanthropic entrepreneur and help others by giving them the support they need to dream big and have the capital they need to make their vision for bettering the world a reality. Why do I want this? I intend to become a philanthropic entrepreneur because I am truly inspired and awed by the greatness of others, and I enjoy sharing great ideas, transformational wisdom, and tools for positive change without having to become an expert in any one particular thing. And I know that money is an amplifier of energy, and so I want to help facilitate the expansion of wonderful ideas into the collective consciousness. So that's my what and my why, okay? So then the resistance that came up for me was, how can I realistically achieve this when I have bouts of low energy, family obligations, and financial limitations myself. Okay, so that's the level that we want to go into as we're sitting down today to write this out. Okay. Now, the affirmations that I came up with for myself are: I am a philanthropic entrepreneur. I help others by giving them the support they need to reach their dreams. I am making the world a better place. I am sharing great and powerful ideas for transformation. I am uniquely qualified to be my greatest self. I have the energy to do what I choose, what aligns with my sacral energy. My family is supportive of my dreams, and I am willing to become financially abundant with the cash flow to achieve all of my soul level intentions, dreams, and goals. All right. I have a little diffuser going on over there, and I think that it is messing with my throat a little bit. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off real quick. Too much essential oil sometimes is not a good thing. All right. So the alchemy of words, again, what gives this power is that I can actually feel the truth of each of those statements, right? So in the previous slide, it showed that, you know, your affirmation is present tense, it's positive, and it's a short thing. And the thing is that you have to be able to create this affirmation and let yourself be able to feel it. So if any one affirmation doesn't feel true to you, it will not have the impact of a power affirmation. So how to fix this? What we do is we try using different statements that feel better. So you can play around with, you know, different words that are positive in present tense, and, you know, if something really feels too out of reach, you can, you know, change it around until it actually feels like, okay, that's a good affirmation for that particular intention. And then you can also say, for example, if you can't feel abundant cash flow, you can say, I'm willing to allow myself to have abundant cash flow, and see how that feels. So if you let yourself be willing, that is really a huge added benefit, okay? So just the act of just having willingness to become a new energy is really all it takes to get the momentum started going in that direction. All right, so that's really all you have to do. All right, so here we go. We're going to dive in here now, and we're going to get to the fun part. Now, we're going to practice envisioning, and we're going to practice envisioning your dream into your reality, okay? So everything is created twice. This is a very important concept and part of like law of attraction and manifesting. Everything is created twice, as first a thought and then as manifest reality. And so when we use our imagination to create with all of the vividness of reality, we are actively manifesting. Now remember, we're not concerned with how to make anything happen, okay? Now it's just about envisioning and seeing it and feeling it, but not having to create the pathway of how to get there, okay? So we're going to do it right now. So we're going to do a visioning meditation. So again, I want you to just get comfortable in your chair, wherever you're sitting, on the couch or wherever you happen to be, and just close your eyes and just feel into your breath as you begin to just move your awareness inside into the present moment. And just continue to breathe. With every breath, just allow yourself to get a little bit more relaxed. And as you relax and breathe, allow yourself to just be a little bit more alert. And calm and comfortable and safe. Bring yourself into a space of deep reverence for the moment, for the sacredness of what it is that you want to create. Gratitude, appreciation, and abiding self-love. And as you allow yourself to just be united with these energies, I want you to just start to envision or imagine that you're walking into a movie theater. And you walk into this movie theater and it's pretty empty. The seats are nice and plush. And you see a big white screen up ahead, and so you just pick a seat. Doesn't matter, you can sit down anywhere. And you're just relaxed and comfortable. And as you take a seat, just notice the plush material of the seats and the way that it feels as you sit down. And then just look up at the movie screen, and as you're looking at the movie screen, it lights up and a movie begins to play. And as you're watching this movie, you realize that what you're looking at is a scene from one of your affirmations. And so you see yourself up on the screen, and you see yourself engaged in the process or engaged in the activities of your dream, your wish fulfilled. And so whatever that dream is, whatever that one thing that you know that you can achieve, I want you to take a moment right now to just think about what that is. And in this moment, you can even write some things down. You can write some things down about that. What is that intention that you want to create for your life? If it's having more freedom, being able to work less and enjoy life more, and not have to sacrifice your financial flow to do that, go ahead and really dive into that feeling and that vision of what that is for you. And I'll be quiet for a moment while you do that. Okay, so you have your intention and you know why You want to create this for yourself. And if any thoughts came up around, oh, well, that's not possible, or I can't really do that, go ahead and make a note of what those thoughts are as well. And so you may be able to check back in on the big screen in your movie theater and see if there's anything that's showing up on your movie theater screen. See if anything is playing out in your imagination that aligns with your truth of what you want to accomplish and what you want to achieve. And now, as you notice all of these things, I want you to just try to create one affirmation about this. And the affirmation would start with something like, I am, or I have, or I do. And you can see yourself in real time as though these things are happening now. So go ahead and come up with that one affirmation. And I'll be quiet while you do that. Okay, and so now you have your affirmation, and as you repeat this affirmation to yourself, something really amazing starts to happen. You're inside the movie theater, and you stand up from your seat and you walk over to the screen, and as you're walking toward the screen, all of a sudden you find yourself inside the movie. And so what I want you to do is just imagine that instead of watching the movie, you are in the movie. And the thing that you've been observing yourself do, you're actually doing right now. Notice maybe the smells or the sounds. And again, you're creating this in your imagination. So visioning isn't necessarily simple for you. If you have a difficulty like maybe creating a movie-like image in your mind, then just do it in a way that works for you. And just describe what it feels like to yourself to be in that state, to actually be there. Wherever that is, whatever it is that you're doing, that shows that you have achieved this goal, that you are already there, and that you are already actively participating in this dream. And just breathe into that notion of this reality that you are creating. So I invite you to just look around, notice what you notice in that space of your dream fulfilled. Take another deep breath. And then just as effortlessly as you went into the movie, you can come back out and go back to inside the movie theater. And as you walk back up the aisle, you pass by your seat, and you might want to just look over at it and acknowledge it. And then continue to walk out of the movie theater and bring your full awareness back into the present moment where you're sitting now. Take another deep breath. And exhale as you begin to come back into the moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. And so this type of meditation, this was something that I came up with that I felt was a creative way to really get into the feeling of your dreams, get into the feeling of your affirmations. And this is how we create alchemy. This is how all of the masters and, many people who we know now today, that have made it to high levels of success and wherever they are, this is what they do. This is how they do it. Athletes, they vision, they see themselves, and then, again, there is more to it. And I'm going to share that with you in week 5. But for now, this is going to be our practice. So I encourage you every day this week to dive into your intentions. Write them out. If they change, if they don't change, just continue to repeat your affirmations and then do a visioning. And the best time to do your visioning is at night, just before you're going to go to bed. And just fall asleep with yourself in that place, in that vision of already being created. You're already there. You've achieved that goal. And you want to stay in that energy of that vision as you're falling asleep at night. Okay? So there's one more tool that I do want to share with you guys, and that is a vision board or vision book. So another way, again, if you're not a very visual person, like I know that there was a time before I was really doing a lot of mindfulness work or doing a lot of meditation, I had a very difficult time visioning or envisioning things in my mind's eye. And so walking through a guided meditation like that was a little bit difficult for me at first. Over time, it got easier to do it. But initially it was hard. So if you're the type of person who has a hard time doing guided meditations or envisioning like that, then this is another thing that you can do. And this is something anyone can do, regardless of if you can meditate or not. A vision board. It's a very creative process, right? And it's an incredibly helpful tool. So creative processes help us get into the zone where all creativity happens. So while you're having fun, while you're, going through the magazines or books or whatever resources that you're using to find things for your vision board or your vision book, it's actually a very relaxed and, you're kind of in the zone. You're relaxed and alert, and, hopefully it's fun. And so just by being in that state of mind as you're doing it, you're actually bringing yourself to that place energetically where you can begin to notice those synchronicities and see those things as though they really are existing and start to create that energy for yourself. So these are a couple of the vision boards that I did in the last probably year or 2 years. One thing I wanted to point out that's kind of funny about the vision board on the right is I inadvertently put an angel in the middle of my vision board. So after I finished the vision board and hung it up on my wall, one day I was looking at it and I noticed that the girl in the middle, she is, wearing this white dress. Right above her head are 2 rings, which can be considered like a halo. And then the images that are above that kind of look like wings. So sometimes our subconscious mind just does what it does, and we don't even realize that, sometimes those things are happening until later. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny, and that there's an angel in the middle of my vision board. So what I want you to do again is just relax, have fun with this process, and create. Okay? So this week, the well work for this week is to create the affirmations for each of your dreams, to repeat the affirmations to yourself throughout the day, each day for 7 days. You're going to practice envisioning each dream fulfilled every night at bedtime. And you're going to fall asleep with this vision playing in your mind, feeling it as real. Don't think about how to achieve your dream. Suspend self-judgment and let yourself dive deep. Okay? In addition to that, again, you can create the vision board or the vision book and that, process. At least, take a day to do that for yourself. And we will be back next week to talk about your unique blueprint for creating the things that you want to create, being aligned with your own energy so that you can move effortlessly into those preferred experiences. Okay, so that is it for today, and I will see you all next week.